Most people won't do this job more than once. Me, I'm a glutton for punishment. I just keep working on cars. Ideally, this would be much better if the car was cold, but she just drove it back home, so we're going to work with what we got. All right, let's start by disconnecting the battery. Just in case anybody's panicking out there right now and saying you got to disconnect the positive or anything like that, it doesn't matter. Voltage has to flow around in a circle. Okay, we're all safe now. Hopefully. All right, first of all, little clip way down in here. You'll be able to see me do this from anywhere, but where my thumb is. Take this wire off. This is the wire that sends a signal to the starter. This is the clamp, the little wire that was underneath, like this, that I was having such a hard time getting loose. And I don't know why I was having such a hard time with it, because all you have to do is, there's a little plastic clip right there. You just have to push in on that, wiggle this a little bit, and it'll pop right out. But for some reason, I just couldn't get that pushed in. That's what that fight was all about. If you want to get more room, just pull the fans out. I've got a video on changing the fan motor. Pulling the fans out is pretty easy. It's just 2 bolts and a wire. And it does make life a lot easier because my arm is kind of sore right now, where it's stuck in between the alternator and the fan. I may never get it back out. Pull that rubber cap back, and this is the nut that I was working with the wrench. And I think I lost that video, but anyway, that nut comes off. This wire comes off. And then you're ready to move on to the starter bolts, which are one right down here on the starter, and one that's up in here. I don't even know if you can see that on the camera. You can't even see the end of my finger on the camera. Right there's the other starter bolt. And I will show you how I get to that. Use an extension about that long and a 14mm socket, I believe it is. Get that socket in there. And trying to get enough light in here so that the camera can see is another major problem. All right, and if you see the silver stripe dot across there, that's the extension. And there is not much room to get under and around wires and all that here. It's fun, but it's doable. And it is, as I've said before, much easier without lights and cameras in my way. But anyway, so there, I'm on it. Now all I got to do is rate the torque. Hey, you know what? If you try to loosen the bolt instead of tighten it, it's a lot easier to break the torque on it. Yeah, you got to push down on that wrench. Yeah, all right. All right, I broke the torque on that one. I'll come back to it. And then I have to go back to the other one. It is right here underneath this intake manifold bolt on the starter. Oh yay, camera mic failure. Well, finish pulling out the bottom bolt, then go back up to the top bolt, take it the rest of the way out, and then when you're pulling the starter out, you just kind of got to rotate it a little bit clockwise from this position so that the solenoid is sticking straight up, and it will wiggle its way out past the fan. But as I said at the beginning of this video, it is easier if you take these fans out of the way to get the starter motor out, to get to the wires, all that stuff. But you can do it the fun way like I did here if you really want to. Alright, so I finally got it out of the car. I've got it on the bench. You're going to need a 8mm socket. So underneath this cap is that part right there. And it rubs on the armature of the starter when the starter spins, and these brushes wear over time. And this Toyota Matrix has, gee, you would think I would know right off the top of my head, but it's 150, 70,000 miles on it. Oh. So I forget things all the time while I'm recording and moving cameras around. Got to take that wire out from underneath that bolt. That's that wire right there. And I believe that's another 12mm. And it should not be super tight. Any of these nuts that go on studs that go into the back of starter relays, starters, other assemblies like this that have this plastic, you do not want to torque those very tight. You just want them tight enough so that they hold. If in doubt, look up what the torque specs are, use a torque wrench. But if you tighten them too tight, they'll turn inside of here and crack this. So now we grab these ears. This has already been apart. I had to tap on it the first time I took it apart. I'm going to show you the temporary repair I made in here. And check that out. The whole thing comes out as one unit. Then you pop this little rubber plug out of the back. Shoot it across the bench. And then there's a snap ring in there. You have to take that snap ring out so that the armature can be removed. And you would think as much as I work on cars I would have a really good pair of snap ring pliers, but there's just two little holes in the snap ring. Snap ring pliers goes in the two little holes. And I may edit this out because there may be profanity involved again. Because these little tiny snap rings, look at that. That thing came right off. Now, I have a magnetic tray over here to put the snap ring in. There's a little washer underneath this snap ring. When you take this off, see the little washer right there? That has to go back in there. Otherwise, when the armature starts spinning, it'll probably work that snap ring loose. Lift the armature straight out. No damage to it. Try not to get things any dirtier than what you absolutely have to. Should have had a towel laying down here already to lay that on. You don't want dirt in the bearings. These 3 screws on the back, regular. I didn't tighten that one very tight when I put it back together. Like I said, I had it apart a couple weeks ago, but I had to order this part right here. Nobody had it locally. So what happens is when these brushes wear down, you see how high this brush comes up right here? It'll only come up so far before that cord hits the the copper connector wire hits, and then it'll stop coming up. What happened is hers stopped coming up because it hit that copper wire. When that happens, you'll be just driving along. Anyway, raise that straight up out of there. Anyway, when that happens, they'll wear out like that. They won't come up enough to contact the armature and give it electrical contact. You'll drive up to a store or something and everything will be just fine. You'll shut it off, you'll walk inside, you might be gone 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a half hour. You come out and you hit the starter, hit the key, and nothing happens, absolutely nothing. If that ever happens to you, just walk out here, find something solid, tap on it. Sometimes just a little bitty tap, and that's what I did when I went to where she was at. Sometimes just a little bitty tap will get those brushes to contact one more time so they'll work again. The temporary fix that I did is I basically took this thing apart and I just filed the notches where this wire is in so that the brush would come up just a little higher. You can actually see, if I can get that light at the right angle, where that brush wore a little different after I did that. But it kept the car running for a couple weeks while these parts came in, and we will go back to assembling them. So make sure this is down in there. That just bolts in there like that. This little clip comes with it, or you can use the old one. And this little clip goes in this side of it underneath the rubber seal. Drop that down in there, and if it was threaded right when it was manufactured, you just put these 3 screws right back in. You don't want to really tighten them down too much before you get both of them in, anytime you have 2 screws like that. But this one here is all by its lonesome self. Hopefully that little plate doesn't move out of line before I get a screw started in it. It worked. Snugged them up pretty good. Drop that back down through the hole. Now this is where it may get fun at, because these brushes might be a little hard to get started down into there. You know, they all seem to move at the same time. You have to look down through that hole, make sure you line the shaft up. Get everything cooperating. There we go. I just kept rocking it and wiggling a little bit, and it wiggled the brushes, and finally it went together. Now you have to hold that armature all the way in there. Drop that washer back on there. I see a shiny side on the snap ring. I like to put them back in the same way they were. Not that it matters. I'm just a little strange that way. I figure if it worked that way before, it should work that way again. Alright, so I managed to put this all back together after I did that temporary fix on it before. And it worked. Let's see if I can get lucky and have that happen again. Not have anything fall out, any of that kind of stuff. Just make sure that washer seats in the groove all the way. Looks pretty good to me. Put the rubber cap back on it. And then this just drops down into the bottom of there. There's a set of gears in the bottom. Little planetary gear set. And then there's the teeth on this. So it just came apart. So when it jumps apart like that, it's not going to really hurt anything. Normally I would have had both hands on it a little bit better and I wouldn't have been holding it up in front of the camera, because all kinds of things have gone wrong here. All right, that got caught inside of where it wasn't supposed to be at. So anyway, that goes down into the armature, or into, yeah, the armature goes into the magnet housing. And then, woohoo, I gotta find an alignment tab on this thing somewhere, because there has to be an alignment tab. There has to be. Right there. Little tiny tab on the outside. There's the bolt hole. There's the little tiny tab. There's the bolt hole. There's a little tiny notch right there beside it. And I haven't had one of these apart this far ever before, so oh man. So I've got the tab in the slot and it closed up all the way. So that means the teeth on the gears have engaged and it went together. Tabs in the slot. Rubber gaskets lined up right there. Tighten up these two bolts and it'll all be back together. I don't have a torque value on these bolts. I've never really torqued the small bolts in the starters like this before. I torque them by feel, but see, I'm using a very small wrench, so a fair amount of pressure on that short ratchet, holding it like that. If you use a longer ratchet, you put any pressure on them at all, you're going to break these bolts right off. That back on there, that nut back on there. And just remember, you don't want a whole lot of torque on these. If I stop dropping tools, I can get this done. You don't want a whole lot of torque on these because they do go into plastic. And I do the same thing with this. When I'm torquing stuff, I don't grab the end of the wrench way out. Oh, it pulled the wire. See, that's what happens when you don't pay attention. Hopefully that didn't pull too much wire and hurt anything inside. I should have had my finger against that wire like that. Like I said, I'm thinking about where the camera's at. Keep looking at the camera to see what can be seen. And as long as that's snug, it'll make contact and won't vibrate back loose. You're good. Now, we can test this right now if we want to. Who wants to see how to bench test a starter? Well, sort of bench test a starter. We'll see if it goes round and round at least. And we're back to regular unscheduled programming. All right, so what I've done is got a battery, grounded it there. Most people that are watching this probably already know how to do this stuff, but so You don't want this arcing a lot on that bolt, otherwise it's going to make that bolt very hard to get together. So you want to make sure you kind of got everything steady here, because this starter is going to jump a little bit when you hit it. But anyway, that's the lead. This is my key switch now. Click, click. Hold the starter, and so if nothing's shorted out, we're not going to get smoke, and all we're going to do is the starter's going to spin. It works. Now does it have enough torque to actually turn an engine over? All right, double check these screws since I left one loose last time I had it apart. That one seemed a little bit loose. I know those are tight, that's tight. Let's go put it back in the car. All right, same thing going back in. Should go back in just about like that. There are quite a few little things sticking out here and there that make it a little bit difficult to get past. Well, see, that's what I said. It's not easy to do. Okay. There it went. I had to rotate it just a little bit back again to get it through the last little bit of hole. Now, rotate it back around. Get it under the radiator hose. I seem to be stuck. What in the world? There we go. Once it's back up in here, you just want to make sure you don't have the wires stuck behind it or anything like that. So make sure you can get to your wires still, and that they're still routed the right way. All right, I can still wiggle the wires around. And I left my socket in here on the bolt, on the top one. So I'm going to try to wiggle it around until that bolt starts. I think it's starting. I think. Just spin this extension here for about 3 minutes, and if it doesn't get tight, then we know it didn't start. It got tight. All right. I should have two 14mm sockets out here so I don't have to pull that extension back out, but I don't. You want to make sure you got both your bolts in before you tighten one of them. And it is best to put a little bit of torque on each one and then torque them all the way. That way you don't break anything. These bolts are very, very tight. If you're working with a wrench the size of this, unless you're extremely strong, I doubt you'll be able to over torque them. But don't take my word on that. And I like using the extensions that have the release clip on them, especially for that bolt up in there. That way you don't have to chase the sockets down. If you want to get more room, just pull the fans out. I've got a video on changing the fan motor. Pulling the fans out is pretty easy. It's just 2 bolts and a wire. And it does make life a lot easier because my arm is kind of sore right now, where it's stuck in between the alternator and the fan. I may never get it back out. All right. Now just hook up the wires. This wire right here, the main one that you can't see at all because it's dark down there, has little tabs on it that kind of help you line it up. All right, a little snugging up on that. Find my, there he is. Find my other not so friendly wire. Plug it back in. Move this stuff out of the way. I'll tighten this battery cable in a second. I'll just hook it up for right now. And I have a set of keys. Just do like any good mechanic would. Just cut that damn rubber boot off of there. Who needs that thing? There's the difference in the size of the tips. And the number 3 is flat on the end, so it'll go down in there all the way. I may have just lied to you. I don't think that actually has to come off. Hey, you know what? If you try to loosen the bolt instead of tighten it, it's a lot easier to break the torque on it.